Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasudrisham Tattvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunahitam Sadguruntam Namami. Nityanandam all of you. Nityanandam everyone. So today was beautiful revelation by Swamiji, and with this beautiful revelation will be entering into the next session by the Swamiji himself, as Swamiji will be revealing on doing versus being. So understand that whenever all the actions that we perform, all the things, unless we embody it, we don't cognize it. Yes, as Swamiji has shared even in this satsang, we have so many judgments about our sense organs based on the spiritual practices, the knowledge that we have about the spiritual realms, and we think we judge our senses, but what we miss actually is that 99% of our decisions that we take are actually based on our Pratyaksha Pramana, actually what we perceive through the senses. Yes, we should not get too attached to the sense pleasures. We should not get addicted to the experiences generated through the senses. But we need to understand that our decision-making process and all the knowledge, what we consider as important, what we consider as true, first and foremost, we collect that through the senses. So we need to bring the clear separation between these two. We need to bring the awareness to our senses. So when we feel we need to move in a certain direction in our life, first we need to start taking action, and then we can raise ourselves to the very being level, where simply based on our declaration, we can manifest our reality as we want. So let us enter into this segment on doing versus being. Requesting everyone to sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line as we enter into this segment. Straight.
Krishna goes much further today to explain the deeper level samskaras, engraved memories. In the 14th chapter, he spoke about Gunatraya Vibhaga, the Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, 3 layers of Prana Sharira, Mana Sharira and Sukshma Sharira. The next, yesterday, he spoke extensively about causal body in the Purushottama Yoga, how Urdhvamula Madaschagam Asvattam Brahuravyayam, how the roots of the tree is centered. Roots of the tree are in the physical world and the branches are in the causal world. That is why he says, Urdhvamula Madaschagam Asvattam Brahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Varnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavit. The roots are, usually the roots of the tree will be in the ground, under the ground, unknown space, and the leaves will be in the known area, known space. But this tree is opposite. The leaves are in the unknown space, the causal layer, the underground area. The roots are in the known space, conscious space, in the physical world. And he explains, the leaves are the Vedas, means the words which you are using continuously in your being. And he further explained how to remove the engraved memories in the causal layer and how to program the causal layer towards bliss, towards eternal consciousness. Now he goes one layer deeper, the cosmic layer. He speaks about the Daiva Asura Sampat, the qualities of divine and demon. Both, the beauty is both words have got same root. Of course, it is not accidental, because both qualities are rooted in the same energy. Just a simple decision. When you choose the word you become divine. When you choose the word me, you become demon. That's all. Same energy. Ramakrishna says beautifully, no energy can be destroyed. Your love can never be destroyed. It has to be turned. It has to be turned. There is one more beautiful example of Ramakrishna. He says, as long as the calf says aham, aham, the calf, as long as it says hum, hum, it has to work, suffer, and it will be beaten, all torture. Once it is killed and out of that skin they will make a music instruments. When you beat that, it will start saying tumi, tumi, tum, tum. As long as it says aham, aham, it will have suffering. When it starts saying tum, tum, it will start singing the glory of divine. It will be used for divine purposes. Beautiful simile, beautiful example. Of course, I am not able to exactly translate in colloquial Bengali. He explains, as long as you have that idea, aham, aham, ami, ami, me, me, continuously you will be demon for yourself and for others. The moment the cognitive shift happens in you, you will be a blessing for yourself and for others. Here, in the causal layer, you have all the engraved memories. All the engraved memories are stored. But in the deeper level, in the cosmic layer only, you decide. You decide, you are me. Let me explain it in a small diagram where we take that decision. How usually our mind receives the data and processes, and how the cognitive shift can happen in our being. By now I think all of you know the drawing. Just for the sake of newcomers, I'll give a simple explanation. You receive information through eyes. For example, this scene. The file goes to Chakshu. In the Chakshu, the whole file is converted into digital file. Whatever scene you are seeing, that is converted into a biosignal file so that the file can be processed. The file goes to Chitta. There the excluding process of neti, neti, this is not happens. Where you understand this is not a tree, this is not a plant, this is not an animal. Then the file goes to mind. Mind starts identifying. This is it, this is it. This is a man. He is standing with a saffron robe. He is taking class. The idea comes. Then the file goes to Buddhi. Buddhi compares with your past experiences. Your past experiences with the person. For example, with me, if your past experiences are good, if you are happy, or whatever you heard, if you feel positive, then the file, the Buddhi writes, yes, If you feel it is waste of time, or if you don't feel in tune with my ideas, or the time which you spent, if it was not pleasant, then the buddhi writes no. The file goes to ego. Then ego decides what is there for me, what way I am related, what gain I am going to get. If some way I am going to have the gain, ego says yes, let us sit here and listen. And if there is no gain for me, if I am not going to be enriched, then ego naturally says no. Then according to the ego's instruction, you decide. Your body moves or sits. This is the way the process happens. This is the spot where you choose what is there for me. Your vested interests come. Please understand, sometime the whole process will say yes, I will have to sit. But this one spot will say, my vested interest is getting affected. Then you will never be able to sit. This whole thing may accept what you are doing, but if this one thing is not ready, the whole decision will be changed. And same way, if whole thing says no, if this one thing says yes, you will decide yes. Sometime when we do something which is not moral according to the social standard, or according to your understanding, according to whatever data you collected in your life, the data collected stays here, the samskaras or engrams. You have so many data, so many informations. The data is available here. According to your data and the whole process, the final report comes no. But suddenly your ego feels, I get strengthened by doing this activity, let me do it. So you simply decide to do that. You simply decide to do that. This is the place where you decide you are me. That's the only small difference. When you take the decision of you always radiate the divine qualities. When you take the decision of me, you always radiate the demonic qualities. Whatever strengthens your ego, please understand, even, let me be very clear, most of us sit here because it strengthens the ego. It strengthens the ego. Now you know much more than other person. You can go on, tell him, what do you know? Many times we sit and listen just for ego satisfaction. So if you sit and listen, even if it is Gita, if you sit and listen for ego satisfaction, be very clear, it is going to be only trouble for your being, no way it will be help. In the cosmic layer, this is the area you decide. If you decide with the attitude of you, the whole thing will become divine. If you decide with the attitude of me, the whole thing will become demon. And what you collected, see the engrams here, as such they are neither negative nor positive. The mind which is working here, as such it is neither negative nor positive. The chitta which is doing the process here, as such it is neither negative nor positive. So none of them are neither negative nor positive. Please be very clear, including the gunas. Even the tamas, by their quality they are neither negative nor positive. There are so many enlightened masters. You cannot make any difference between them and laziness. You cannot make any difference. Raman Maharshi, throughout his life, he was sitting in one place, one city. He never moved out. But you can't say he was in tamas, because he never took any decision out of me. The whole process was happening, you as a center, not me. As such, whether the chitta or mind or samskara, you cannot tell they are bad or good. In the superficial layers, they are neither bad nor good. But the decision which you make in the cosmic layer, in the deeper layer, that only makes them as good or bad. Please understand, passion and compassion are one and the same. Passion and compassion are one and the same. When you decide based on me, it is passion. When you decide based on you, it is compassion. We need to understand an important thing. Whenever it is passion, it will be strong in our being. But when it becomes compassion, it will not have that much of intensity. Means, be very clear, your compassion is also just a pseudo expression. Maybe for name and fame's sake, not for anything else. If you don't have that intense compassion, the way in which you experience passion, with the same intensity, if you don't experience compassion, be very clear, all your activities are purely out of ego. Including this Gita Jnana can become ego when the decisions are taken out of I and me. If the decisions happen out of you, not this Gita Jnana, even ordinary activity which you do in your life can become divine. See, we don't have to work on the doing, we need to work on the being. Doing can never lead you to anything. As long as you believe doing can lead you to ultimate, you are called karmagan, the person with karma. It is called Puramimamsa. Only when you understand the being can lead you to the ultimate, you are called Uttaramimamsi. In Vedas, there are two major portions. People who believe in doing, people who believe in being. People who believe in transforming the being, they are called Vedantis. People who believe the transformation ultimate can be achieved by doing, they are called Karmagandis. They continuously believe in doing. Of course, ultimate can be achieved only by working on the being, not on the doing. If you try to work on the doing, either you will suppress or express. Either you will suppress or express. Continuously you will be fighting with yourself. Nothing else will be achieved. A man who can transform his being, only he can achieve the ultimate. Whether demon or divine, it is decided only on that one point. When you receive the data, process it and deliver the result or command, how the command is delivered, what is the center from which the command comes out. The command comes out thinking this one statement, what is there for me, what is there for me, what is there for me, whatever you may do, including meditation, it will be only ego satisfying. Many people come and ask me, Swamiji, at some point I felt such a deep ecstasy in meditation, such beautiful bliss in meditation, but suddenly within 2 hours it disappeared. It never came back. Why, Swamiji? How to have it back? Please understand, the bliss itself is choicelessness. When you are absent, you experience bliss. The moment you want it back, the moment you choose bliss, already you have chosen. The moment you choose, you will always choose suffering. All choices are suffering. And bliss is choicelessness. The moment you want to grab it, the moment you want to have it, when you are blissful, you allowed the bliss to possess you. The moment you want to possess the bliss, you will make it as suffering. When you want to possess, you wanted that to strengthen your ego. The decision is from you. Decision is from me. The attitude me. The attitude me decides. The moment the attitude I and mine, me, that when that decides to destroy the bliss, you can no more be divine. When you are in blissful, you just set a capital no to me, the me idea. Just you are relaxed in the you idea. The moment you wanted to possess the bliss, you said yes to your me idea. Please understand, I have to use this me and you word properly. You need to understand that me and you word properly. When I use the word me, I mean ego. When I use the word you, I mean the whole existence. When you are not there, whatever is there is existence. When you are not there, whatever is there is divine. You make demon by bringing the idea me in you. The moment you bring the idea me, whatever is demon. The moment the me idea is removed, whatever is divine. With me idea, whatever you do, whether it is meditation or rituals or whatever, receiving the knowledge, learning, everything will only strengthen the ego. Anything done with idea of me to improve the me naturally will lead to more and more ignorance and dukkha. Anything done with the idea of you, anything will naturally become divine and will lead to bliss. Pravritti, nivritti. Nivritti is centered on the idea of you. Pravritti is centered on the idea of me. Whatever you do out of me, it will lead to pravritti. Whatever you do with the idea of you, it will lead to nivritti. As long as you feel this is your boundary, here your boundary ends and here the universe starts, you will be continuously fighting with existence. You will be continuously fighting with nature. You will be continuously fighting with the whole. Please be very clear. Part can never succeed when you fight with the whole. When it fights with the whole. Continuously, whatever you think, speak and do based on the one idea, me, it will lead to more and more complications, more and more dukkha. Here, Krishna starts explaining beautifully the nature of demonic nature and divine nature. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Again, throughout this chapter, only Bhagavan speaks. In the first chapter, only Arjuna is speaking. Bhagavan is silent. Means, completely is expressing his ego. Almost the chaos is happening. He is mad, confused. He is just vomiting, quoting all the morality, whatever he learnt, quoting everything, he is speaking. Slowly he comes down to the next level. He is allowing the Bhagavan to speak and the conversation is happening. First, he is expressing him, not letting Bhagavan speak. Then he comes down to the level of conversation. Bhagavan also speaks, he is also speaking. Then he comes to the level of little more listening. Now practically he is silent. In the 15th chapter and 16th, both the chapters, he is silent. He is not uttering a single word. That's what I told. No questions, only doubts. All the questions have disappeared. Now only small doubts. Means he is asking for more tips, more clarification, more understanding. Bhagavan uvacha abhayam sattva samsuddhir jnana yoga vyavastitihi danam tamascha yajnasya swadhyayastava arjavam ahimsa satyam akrodas yagas santirabhaisunam taya bhudeshvaloluptvam mardavam hrira chapalam tejatshama drudis saucham adroho nadimanitaha bhavanti sambadam daivim abhijadasya bharata. Let me give you the translation. Bhagavan says, fearlessness, purification of the being, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, and centered on the being, performance of sacrifice and accumulating knowledge, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to divine men endowed with divine nature. Now, when you listen all these things with the attitude of me, usually what we do? Start practicing all these things. Start practicing all these qualities. Be very clear, if you start practicing all these qualities, one thing is sure, you will become mad. You will become mad. Nothing can be done. Because you will be fighting with yourself. You will be controlling your senses to strengthen your ego. When you try to understand all these things, when you try to understand all these ideas with your attitude of me, I, you will start practicing them to strengthen the idea of me, to strengthen yourself as a better being. Again and again. Masters prove. Masters are not better beings. They are totally transformed beings. Better beings are different. Transformed beings are different. The other day I was telling you that lion and sheep lion story. The story told by Vivekananda. Beautiful story. In that story, the sheep lion, he doesn't want to realize his lion. He just wanted to be a good, strong sheep. He is asking the lion to give some technique for becoming a strong sheep. Same thing. If you straight away start practicing all these things, you may have little strong ego. Understand, that is why all these so-called tapasvis, people who repress themselves, will have a strong ego. Will have very strong ego. People who do tapas, people who repress themselves, you can see very clearly they will be radiating ego. Because they are doing all these things to strengthen. When you do all these things, naturally you will strengthen your ego. You will strengthen your ego. When you are completely blissful, relaxed, then if austerity happens, if tapas happens in you, you will never expect others also to do tapas. I have seen so many sannyasis, especially in India, continuously they blame the householders. Continuously they blame them. You don't do this, you don't do that, you are not right, you are not pure, you are sinner. The problem is, when you suppress, when you force yourself to do tapas, you are continuously burning inside. So naturally, sometimes you yourself get the doubt whether you are in the right path or what you are doing. Is it right? You get the doubt. Then naturally what we think? We have to do something. The doubt is coming up. Let us make others guilty. When you make others guilty that they are not doing right thing, you feel now, yes, what you are doing is right. When you make others feel guilty that they are not right, you feel you are right. When you see, when you suppress, when tapas is done by force, you naturally expect others also to do that. If they don't do, you create guilt in them, and by creating guilt in them, you wanted them to come to you and confess. When that happens, you feel more and more strong. Tapas is supposed to happen out of joy and bliss. Just as a natural thing, anything done by force is not going to help you. It will neither help you nor it will help the society. I have seen so many people doing tapas like Ravana. Ravana did tapas, but all his powers, it never helped him or others. He has become demon for himself and for others. He was killing others. Finally, he has destroyed himself. Because the tapas is from the attitude of me. What is there for me? To strengthen the I and mind. The whole thing happened to strengthen the I and mind. Please understand, whatever you do, whether it is studying the spiritual scriptures, or the charity, or social service, or the spiritual things, or puja, or meditation, whatever you do, to strengthen the I and me will always lead to suffering. It will lead to suffering. The instinct to survive and instinct to possess is what I call me. Me means instinct to survive. Instinct to possess. Instinct to survive is I. Instinct to possess is mine. Person who understands both are illusions. You cannot have the instinct to survive. Whatever you may have, you cannot survive. Please be very clear. The instinct to survive is pure illusion. At the most, you can survive as you think yourself 70, 80 years. 70, 80 years you can be alive as you think you are. How you visualize yourself. In that form, in that way, you can be alive maximum 70 to 80 years. But the instinct to survive tries to extend it, tries to make the life as eternal. Naturally, you are walking towards suffering. As long as you carry the instinct to survive, please be very clear, again and again and again you will be hurting yourself. You will be hurting yourself. Just today morning, I was talking to an ashramite. She was complaining to me that she is hurt even by a small words which comes from others. She was telling, I am too sensitive, Swamiji. I said, stop that word. You are not sensitive. A real sensitive person will be porous. He will allow the words to pass through him. Only arrogant people get hurt. If you are hurt, please be very clear, you are arrogant. You are strong like a stone. That is why words come and hit you and you are hurt. If you are sensitive, porous, you will just let the words pass you. You will just let the words pass you. You will never suffer. Suffering is always from arrogance, never from sensitivity. Person who is sensitive will never suffer. Because you will just allow the words to pass you. You will not stop them. You suffer by a word when you stop them, when you resist them, when you make meaning out of them. When you don't make meaning out of words, you never suffer. Words can never create suffering when you don't make meanings out of it. It's like just playing with words. We always choose nice words to support our ego. We don't want to say, I am hurt because I am arrogant. We always use a polished word. I am hurt because I am sensitive. Please don't cheat yourself with words. Let you be straight. Let the straight words be used. Especially in America, I see lot of polished words. Lot of polished words. People easily cheat themselves with the words. People easily cheat themselves with words. Please don't cheat yourself with polished words. Let things be straight. Let everything be clear. Never ever use the polished words. You can use the polished words to cheat others, but don't use it on yourself. Don't use it on yourself. A small story. One contractor wanted to donate a car, gift a car, a sports car to an official. Official said, no, I am an honest person. I cannot think of accepting this gift. I am not that type. Contractor says, in that case, if I can sell this car to you for $10, how it will be? He says, in that case I will have 2 cars. Be very clear. Just playing with words. Playing with words. Don't cheat yourself with words. Let us be clear. What is, let us use the same word. Ramakrishna says, Man mukh ek karo. Let your words and mind be straightened. Let your words and mind be straightened. Whatever is, let it be straightened with words. At least you will know you have problem. When you start using very colorful, polished words, by and by you forget you have some problem. You forget you have some problem. When you just play with the words, you yourself forget you have problem. Understand? When you know, you don't know, at least you know you don't know. When you don't know that you don't know, you don't even know you don't know. Be very clear. At least let you know you have a problem. Let you know that there is something wrong. Let us use the straight words. Shortest distance between 2 points is always a straight line. To achieve anything, shortest way is straightforwardness.
Yes. So the shortest between 2 points is the straight line. And Swami shares beautifully that he shares the story of Ramakrishna, where there's a story of मैं and तुम. When the ship says मैं, it is egoistic. And when he's beaten, he starts saying tum. Means tum means you. So when you are saying me, then you are egoistic. And when you are saying you, then you are dissolving your ego. You are moving towards that super consciousness. That's the very essence of this segment, what Swamiji revealed. So understand, when you, even in your life, when you start saying you instead of me, that's the way to go. That's the way of being. So Now with this, we'll be moving on to the purposelessness of life, where Swamiji will be revealing how to, when you experience the purposelessness of life, then you get liberated from the karma. So karma is one thing that all of us are, those who know, all of us are actually uh, thinking how to get rid of karma, how to get rid of certain patterns. So this is the one revelation by Swamiji, that so let's come to the space of listening and even write down the powerful cognitions if you need. Let's.
What is the purpose of life? The moment you understand life is purposeless, the moment you accept the beauty of purposelessness, you will realize the meaning of living. Life has no purpose, but it has meaning. Purpose is different, meaning is different. Purpose means the goal orientation. You always think about the goal, running. Suddenly one day you just drop dead. The more you are goal oriented, more you will miss the life. Purpose is different and meaning is different. When I say the word meaning, living itself is a meaning. Come to this moment. Path itself is a life. Path itself is a meaningful thing. There is no such thing. In the end, you will be happy. You always postpone the joy. You always postpone the bliss. You always postpone living. Life is lived in a very superficial way because you think life has got purpose. Be very clear. Man who works just for salary, just for money, for him only the payment day will be beautiful day. He will be happy only on that one day. He is selling his 29 days for that one day. He is selling his 29 days just for the one day happiness. You are selling your life just for one day happiness. Please be very clear. Man who is running behind some goal will never be able to live the life happily. If you are working just for salary, you will never be able to experience the meaning of living. You will be able to run behind the purpose. I don't say don't take the salary, but let it not be the only goal. Let it not play major role in your consciousness. That is what Krishna says. That is what Krishna means. Karmanye vadigaraste mabaleshu kadachanaha. You can do only your duty. You have no right for fruits. If you think of fruit, you will lose the joy of living. You will lose the joy of living. The meaning of the living is experienced only when you understand the beauty of purposelessness. The beauty of purposelessness makes you realize the meaning of living. Beautiful sloka. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma baleshu kadachanaha ma karma bala hedurbur made sangosta karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. Two things we need to understand. One, he says, Let your inner space be not contaminated by the purpose of life. Please understand. If your inner space is filled, when I say inner space, I mean your inner mind. Your mind. When you close your eyes, what comes in your mind is inner space. If your inner space is filled with the purposes of life, be very clear, you are running behind something which will never give you fulfillment. Which will never give you fulfillment. He says, let your inner space be not disturbed, filled with purposes. One important thing you should understand. By nature, your inner space is filled with Atman. Your inner space is filled with bliss, eternal bliss. The more you fill your inner space with other furnitures, purposes, the more you empty your inner space from bliss. For example, this room is filled with space. The more you put furnitures, the space will leave this room. Please understand, this room is not empty. No place is empty. It is filled with space. It is filled with ether. This room is filled with ether. More number of furnitures you bring in, the ether will be taken away. Ether will be moved away. It will be less filled with ether. It will be less filled by air. Your inner space by nature is filled with bliss. The more furnitures you bring in means the purposes of life. The more you think life has got purpose, the more furnitures you will bring and arrange it. The more you furnish your inner space, less it will be blissful. In the outer place, if you furnish your home, it will look very nice. In the inner space, if you furnish your inner space, it will look very ugly. Don't furnish your inner space. Don't bring more furnitures into your inner space. Let your inner space be empty. Of course, it will never be empty, it will be filled with bliss. The more you create inner space, more your life will be blissful. More it will be ecstatic. More it will be joyful. Your inner space needs to be emptied. That is what Krishna means. Don't be attached to the results. Continuously, if you think about the money, you will never be able to perform your action completely. You will be always goal-oriented. You will never enjoy the path. Not enjoying the path is the greatest hell, worst hell which can happen to any human being. Please be very clear. People come and ask me, Swamiji, again and again you speak about dharma. Again and again Krishna says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinachaya sadushkridam dharma samstavanarthaya sambhavami yuke yuke. I come down to save the innocent good people and to destroy the evil-minded people. Again and again Krishna says, you also say, dharma is the only thing to be practiced. But in our life we see people who are not living according to dharma. They are living more happily. They are having more property. They are having more wealth. How is it? Please be very clear. They may be having more property. They may be having more things in the outer place, but never think they are happy. Never think they are blissful. If somebody is not following dharma, means naturally why is not following the dharma? Ambition. Ambition is the thing which makes you to do all the mistakes, or all possible sins, ambition is hell. Nothing else needs to be done. Please be very clear. Don't think you will do some mistake and go to the hell. No. We do mistakes because we are in hell. The very ambitiousness is hell. There is no need for a separate hell. Don't think we will reach to a separate place called hell in the end of the life. The very ambitiousness is hell. People do mistakes because they are in hell. If you are happy, blissful, you will never disturb others. If we are unhappy, naturally we will vomit that violence on others. Ambitiousness itself is hell. Because the very ambitiousness is enough punishment. You don't need to curse him, or you don't need to think that he should be punished. The very ambitiousness is punishment. Just because of that ambitiousness, he misses the whole life. You can easily miss the life by having a purpose for life. If you have the salary as a purpose, you will miss 29 days of your life just for one day. Just for the one day. If you work just for the sake of weekend, you will miss 5 days just for 2 days. Unless your life itself becomes joyful, unless your working itself becomes ecstasy, unless that itself becomes bliss, you cannot experience what Krishna says by this sloka, karmanye vadikaraste mabaleshu kadachanaha. Please be very clear. Even if you think you have the right for fruits, even if you acquire the fruits, what can you do? How long you think you will be able to carry that? Nothing. Nowhere it can come with you. And your life will not be fulfilled just by the purposes. Purpose can be fulfilled, but by purposes your life can never be fulfilled. In our life, please be very clear, when you carry purposes in your life, you are not living. Purposes are living through you, that's all. Young age, somebody teaches you some purpose. This is the purpose of your life. You should become a lawyer. You should become a doctor. You are given a purpose. That purpose is fulfilled through your life, but you will never feel fulfilled. Never do the mistake of thinking you will be fulfilled when your purpose is fulfilled. No. Your fulfillment is completely different from the fulfillment of purpose. If you want to feel the fulfillment, you have to work separately in a different direction. It's a total different achievement. It's a total different dimension of your life. Fulfilling your purpose cannot give you the fulfillment. If you want fulfillment of your being, listen here what Krishna is saying. Here Krishna starts the Karma Yoga. Na karmana manarambhan naishkarmyam purushosnute na cha sanyasadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection. Beautiful. I think Krishna is the first and last master, as far as I know, because no statement can be ultimate truth. We can only say as far as I know. As far as I know, Krishna is the first and last master who declared the truth as it is. Two things. Always the people who are in the politics, people who are in the outer world, they know the characters or the truth or the techniques to achieve success in the outer world. People who are in the spiritual world, they know the techniques to achieve success in the spiritual world. But Krishna is both. Krishna is the only master who is enlightened man and a king. He knows how to give a technique to achieve the total success in the outer world and in the inner world. How to furnish your outer space and how to keep empty your inner space. That is the whole life. The whole Gita is only one idea. How to furnish your outer space to the ultimate luxury level and how to keep your inner space to the ultimate blissful level. Keeping your inner space in a eternal bliss and keeping your outer space in ultimate luxury. Krishna is the only man who has produced formula for inner space and outer space together. You can't expect this from a Buddha because Buddha has given up the outer space. He lived with just 3 pieces of dress and he lived a life of a monk. So whatever he produces, whatever formula he creates will lead you only to that state. But Krishna has lived like a king. Krishna has lived not like as a king. Only Krishna can give a practical instruction. Only Krishna can create a manual for practical spiritual living. All other masters, their manual is useful only for monks who are sitting in monasteries. Only Krishna's manual is useful for the people who are living the life. Here he says, not merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction. You can't achieve freedom from reaction by moving away from the work. I have seen one monk, he was considered as a great Paramahamsa because he will never get angry. His greatness is people thought he never gets angry. There is no need because he is sitting in Himalayas. He was sitting in Himalayas. People are there to give food for him every day. Morning somebody brings breakfast. Noontime somebody brings lunch. And night somebody brings dinner. Somebody gives him clothes. What is the need for getting angry? There is no need. He is respected because he never gets angry. Usually, human beings always respect if somebody does something which they can't do. If you want to become respectful, if you want to have the respect of the society, just do something which others can't do, that's all. Any foolishness. Of course, if you see this Guinness record on all these world records, there are so many foolish things which you can never imagine. Which you can never imagine. Do anything which others can't do, you will have the respect. So this person is considered to be a great person, great Paramahamsa, just because he never shouts at anybody. Of course, Nobody thought there is no need. There is no need for him to become angry because he is sitting in Himalayas. Somehow, somebody inspired him. Master, let us go for a Kumbh Mela in Nasik. There is a Kumbh Mela program in Nasik. Let us go to that program for Kumbh Mela. Biggest gathering in the whole humanity happens in India. Every 4 years it happens. Every 4 years, biggest gathering in humanity happens in India. Not only spiritual gathering, biggest gathering. The other day, in TV I saw, leader of particular religion died. Some 2 million people gathered, 20 lakh people gathered. So many TVs are declaring this is the biggest religious gathering. I thought, what is happening? In my village, every year people, 20 million people, 2 million people gather. In my village, every year, for local festival, 2 million people gather. I was surprised. Even international news channels are saying, world's biggest spiritual gathering. I was just surprised. Every 4 years, in Kumbh Mela, 70 million people gather in India. 70 million. Last Kumbh Mela is attended by 70 million people. They convinced him to come to Kumbh Mela. After he came to Kumbh Mela, when he went back, all his disciples left him. Because when he came down from the Himalayas, when his routine was disturbed, only then people understood he can also shout at others. He can also get irritated. He also gets angry. Please be very clear. As long as the situation doesn't come, all are great saints. Everyone is saint till the opportunity is given. Till the opportunity is given. Only when the opportunity comes, you can judge whether he is real saint or escapist. Abstaining from work or moving away from work cannot give you the freedom from reaction. To have the freedom from reaction, your inner space needs to be purified. Your inner space should become empty. You need to remove the furnitures from inner space. Renouncing the furnitures in the outer world is not going to help you. Renouncing the furnitures from the inner world only is going to help you. The idea of purposes, thinking that life has got purpose, should be renounced. That is what he says. Just by renouncing, just by outer renunciation, perfection can never be achieved. Perfection can never be achieved. One more thing. If you renounce the outer world, the more you will be thinking about the outer world. If you renounce the outer world, more you will be thinking about the outer world. A small story. One enlightened master and his disciple, both of them are walking near a river. They are supposed to cross the river to go to their monastery, their ashram. On the way, young lady was standing. She wants to cross the river. She is afraid. She asked the enlightened master, Master, can you help me to cross this river? He said, why not? Please come. He just lifted her and crossed the river, left her and said bye and reached the ashram. The disciple was seeing the whole scene. He is not able to digest the whole scene. He is burning, maybe jealousy. He is not able to digest. After reaching the ashram, he is not able to control himself. He asked, Master, you are a sannyasi. How can you touch a woman, that also young woman, and carry her throughout the river? How can you do that? Master just turns, smiles at him and says, I left her long ago. Why are you still carrying her? I left her there itself. Why are you carrying her still? Why are you bringing her here? Please be very clear. Renouncing in the inner space, emptying your inner space is the real thing to be achieved. That is what Krishna says here. This sloka is straight away addressed to this disciple. Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasa smaran indriyartan vimodatma mityacharasa uchyate. The meaning goes, one who restrains the senses of action but whose mind dwells on sense objects certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender and an hypocrite. A man who keeps his senses under control but who is not able to keep his inner space under control is called pretender, hypocrite. Please be very clear. The quality of your life will be judged only based on the quality of your inner space, not based on the quality of your outer space. When you leave your body and enter into your next life, nobody is going to see the accounts of what type of car you drove, in what type of house you lived, how much of bank balance you had. No, these accounts will not come with you. How you live, how your inner space was there. What is the quality of your inner space when you lived? Only that you are going to carry. That is why they say, you are going to carry only the samskara, means the karma, the inner space with you, not the outer space. One more beautiful story from Ramakrishna. Who are all entering into the prostitute's house, what time they are entering, what time they are going out, how many are entering. He will keep all the counts because no other work, what to do? No other work. When you don't have any other work, you need to do something. You need to do something. Continuously keeps the accounts. How many are entering? What time they are entering, how much of time they are spending, whole thing. I think he is almost like a diary maintainer of that prostitute. He maintains a complete diary of who comes, who goes, who are the regular visitors, and who comes once in a while, rarely. Whole day is thinking about what's going on there. And that lady prostitute, she lives in a different way. She thinks, my life, my swadharma is this. This has been given to me as life. I don't know any other profession. I have to live only like this. For my food, I have to live this life. Oh Lord, but please save me. Let my mind and heart be at your feet. She is deeply devoted to God. Her inner space is filled with divine. Her inner space is filled with God's name. Her inner space is filled with the divine love. Life goes after some time, suddenly, unfortunately, both of them die in the same day. This monk and prostitute, both of them die in the same day. Story is beautiful. Both of them reach the Yamadharma's court for judgment. First, she comes, the prostitute comes. Yamadharma sees the list of sins and merits and he says, all right, don't worry. You lived throughout your life thinking of the divine. Go to the heaven. She is sent to the heaven. And the monk is coming. The moment monk comes, Yamadharma says, he sees the list of sin and merits and he says, throughout your life you thought about wrong things. So go to the hell. And this monk starts shouting, how dare you send me to hell? And you know he is a professional preacher and you know he knows how to shout. He starts shouting, I'll sue you. Maybe he must be visiting America many times. Often. I'll sue you. He shouts. Yamadharma says, please relax. Here up in the heaven, we don't bother what you do. We bother how you live. See, by your body, you lived a pure life. Look at the planet Earth, how your body is respected. There, the monk saw, his body is respected like anything. All the people are falling at the feet of his body, and big garlands are offered, big puja is done, it is being carried to big samadhi, and his body is receiving all the respect. Through body, you lived a pure life. Your body is now getting respect. But through mind, you lived an impure life. Now go to hell. Same way, she lived impure life through body. Look at her body. Nobody was there even to care. Because she is a prostitute, no husband, no sons. Nobody was there even to do last rites. Body is stinking. Just the government fellows came and they dragged that body and dumped it somewhere. See, through body she lived an impure life. Her body is suffering. But through mind she lived a pure life, divine life. She is going to the divine. It is more important with what you live in the mind. Your inner space is the real achievement. How your inner space is the real thing. Please be very clear. Again and again Krishna declares, Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyartan vimudatma mitya saracha uchyate. If you can't clear your inner space, even if you control your body, even if you control your senses, you are called hypocrite. Your life will not be blissful life. Your life will not be a real life. Not only it will not be a spiritual life, it will not be life at all. Understand this one thing. Just understanding this one single idea can transform your whole way of thinking, can transform your whole way of working, can transform your whole way of living. When you understand there is no purpose in totality, you will start enjoying every single moment. You will start living intensely every single inch. Every moment will become meaningful. When you think as a whole, there is a purpose, that every single moment will lose its meaning. If you think your whole 30 days of working is worth of $100,000 or $50,000, you will judge your 1 month only as a $50,000. Please be very clear. Your life is not $50,000 worth. For example, you think that 1 month of your life is $50,000. So if you calculate your whole life, it may come for some 10 million or 20 million or even 100 million. Suddenly somebody says, I will give you 100 million, give you your life. Will you be able to give up? Logically, this is the way you are calculating and working. This is the way we are calculating and working. We are ready to sell our mind. We are ready to sell our moments, ready to sell our inner space, calculating the value of our life. Logically, you fix a rate for your life. Once you fix the rate, only the rate is in your inner space. You forget that doing the work itself or living itself is beautiful. If you think the whole has got purpose, the part loses the meaning. Understand, as a whole, the whole has no purpose. The moment you realize the whole has no purpose, the part will become meaningful. Your very living, every day itself will become beautiful. Every day your life, you are living, you are sitting, you are walking, you are standing, everything is joyful experience. That is why they say that Satchit Ananda means bliss of very existence. Your very existence is blissful. You don't have to think, in the end you will have the bliss. No. Your very existence is blissful. The moment you drop the goal, your path becomes blissful. The moment you realize the beauty of purposelessness, your very existence becomes meaningful. The meaning of existence is bliss, eternal bliss, Nitya Ananda. The next sloka says, Nahi gachit shanamapi jadu dishtatya karma krit karya dehyava sakkarma sarva prakriti jair gunai. Nahi gachit shanamapi jadu dishtatya karma krit karya dehyava sakkarma sarva prakriti jair gunai. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Usually people ask me, Swamiji, if you say that life is purposeless, why should we work? Let us lie down. Who will give me food? I tell you, you can never lie down. You may lie down for next 4 or 5 days because you will always go to this extreme. Now the pendulum is in this extreme. If you take the hand, it will go to this extreme. Maximum 1 week you will be able to lie down. After that, you can't lie down. By your very nature, you will start doing the work. By your very nature, you will start doing the work. All I mean when I say life is purposeless, I am not asking you to just lie down in your home. I am asking, let your body and mind work without disturbing your inner space. You don't have to sell your inner space to have outer place. You don't have to sell your inner bliss to have outer comforts. By very nature, here Krishna gives the assurance, by your very nature your body and mind will work. Just if you keep quiet, that is enough, they will function beautifully. Somebody came and asked me, Swamiji, to do right thing, what should I do? How should I keep my mind to do right thing? I told him, just keep quiet. Automatically your body and mind will do the right thing. Just if you get out of your system, that's enough. Divine will get in. All we need to do is just get out. Divine will get in. By nature, he says, Prakriti Jair Gunai. By very nature, your body and mind knows the right thing. But you never trust your body and mind. You never trust your body and mind. You always trust your ego, which finally dumps you in the dustbin. But you never trust the body and mind. Be very clear. Your body and mind by nature will do the work. All you need to do is keep quiet, relax from your ego. Don't think your inner space is needed for the outer work. The person who understood what is Nitya and what is Anitya, the person who understands what is eternal and what is ephemeral and relaxes into the eternal is always in eternal consciousness. He always resides in Nitya Ananda. Krishna says, a man who relaxes into Nitya Ananda and does his job, does his work, he is Karma Yogi. Just relax into your inner space. Automatically you will be guided. You will be guided. We always think, if I relax in my mind, thinking that life is purposeless, how will I know which is right and which is wrong, Swamiji? How will I know which is right and which is wrong? Please be very clear. The more you worry about which is right and wrong, you will not do any mistake. You will commit blunders. The person who worries which is right and which is wrong continuously will commit only blunders. He will never commit mistakes. The person who doesn't worry, who never bothers, he may do small mistakes. But the person who continuously worries will never do small mistakes, he will commit big blunders. And I tell you, to take this jump of not worrying needs courage. Even if you do one or two mistakes, what is the wrong? Taking the risk and jumping and start living without worrying is what I call dhiratva, courage. Courage of entering into the spiritual life. When you take the jump, you will do naturally one or two small mistakes. Don't worry. Putting up with that mistake is what I call tapascharya. Tapas. Tapas is nothing but accepting the small mistakes which you do when the conscious transition happens in your being. When you move from ephemeral consciousness to eternal consciousness, when you move from worry to bliss, when you move from asatya to satya, you will do one or two mistakes. You will fall and rise, just like a small child when he tries to walk. It will always fall once or twice. Just because of that, can you say, don't start walking? No. Even if it does one or two small mistakes, it has to stand up and start walking. That one or two small mistakes, once or twice falling and trying to stand up, is what is tapas done to learn how to walk. Same way, when you start living without mind, in the initial level, you may commit one or two mistakes. Don't worry. That is tapascharya. That is tapas. Have courage and just enter into the zone of no mind. Enter into the zone of eternal consciousness. Simply start living. Realize the purposelessness of the existence. Decide, today onwards, I will live without worrying. Because life is too small to be spent in worrying. Life is too small to be spent in worrying. Life is too short to be spent in worrying. So never bother, never worry about your goals. Just drop the goals. The moment you understand the beauty of purposelessness, all the wounds which you have created in your inner space will be healed. You will fall into the abyss of eternal bliss. Next, Krishna says, this is one of the important point, one more point he clarifies. Ye me madamidam nityam anudishtanti manava sraddhavanto nasuyanto muchyante vikarmabi. The translation goes, those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow this teaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive actions. Here you need to understand two things. He says, according to my injunctions, means when you enter into your being, whatever your being says is Krishna's words. When he says my injunction, he means the injunction from Atman. Injunction from the being, the Paramatman. When you drop the goals and fall into your being, you will be straight away guided by the divine. You will be guided by the nature. You will be guided by God Himself. You will become an instrument in His hand. If you become hollow bamboo without any blockage inside, you will become a flute in the hands of Krishna. Dropping your purposes or dropping your ego is what I call becoming a hollow bamboo. If you become a hollow bamboo, you will become flute in the hands of Krishna. If you are a solid bamboo, you will be used only to carry dead bodies. In India, solid bamboos are used only to carry the dead bodies. Same way, if you drop the ego and fall into the being, you will become instrument in the hands of divine. You will become a divine flute. When you become flute, the air which enters into you comes out as a music. Same way, when you become an instrument in the divine's hand, the air which enters into you comes out as a shastra or mantra or the music. Whatever comes out of you becomes divine. Your words become mantra. Your actions become tantra. Your form is yantra. The moment you drop the ego, your words become mantra to guide people. Your form becomes yantra to be meditated on. Your actions become tantra, technique to realize the Atman. You become divine. if you carry your ego just like a solid bamboo is used only to carry dead bodies, you will also be carrying this dead body. You will also be carrying this dead body. Now it is up to you whether to become hollow bamboo and become a flute in the hands of Krishna, or to be a solid bamboo and carry the dead bodies to Smashana. If you drop into your being, you will become an enlightened being. You will become an instrument in the hands of the divine. Your words will become mantra. Your form will become yantra. Your actions will become tantra. Instead, if you decide to carry your ego, you will be carrying this dead body wherever you go. Here, he says, those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions, according to your inner consciousness. Please be very clear. As long as you carry the goal of the society, the purposes conditioned on you by the society, you will be carrying conscience. The moment you drop the social conditioning, the purposes taught to you by society, you will start living with consciousness. Social conscience is different and spiritual consciousness is different. If you live with goals, you will carry the social conscience in your life. If you realize the beauty of purposelessness, you will carry the spiritual consciousness in your life. The man who lives according to his consciousness, believing, having shraddha towards these teachings. Why Krishna is demanding shraddha? Here is the first place where Krishna says shraddha, faithfully. Why? Shraddhavanto nasuyanto. He says, of course, the word shraddha cannot be translated as faith. Faith is a very poor word for shraddha. Please forgive me, I have to tell the truth. In English there is no word for shraddha exists, because the very idea of shraddha never existed. Let me be clear. The very idea of shraddha never existed here. That is why the equivalent word for shraddha doesn't exist. Shraddha does not mean faith. Shraddha means faith plus courage to execute that idea. Courage to experiment with that idea is shraddha. Courage to experiment that idea is what is shraddha. Here Krishna says, Shraddha vanto nasuyanto. Man who executes these teachings with shraddha, courage to follow. Why we need courage to follow? A small story. One born blind man goes to a doctor and asks, Doctor, will you help me to have my eyes? Doctor says, don't worry, I'll do some operation, you will have your eyes, after that you can walk without that stick. The blind people, they always carry a stick to feel the road. You can walk without that stick. Now the blind man asks, Doctor, I understand you will do an operation. I understand I will have my eyes back. But I don't understand, how can I walk without stick? How can I walk without stick? By and by, the blind man forgot the stick is from outside. He started thinking stick is necessary even for walking. But till the operation, till he gets his eyes, he has to have shraddha towards the doctor's words and lie down in the operation table. Same way, I tell you, just live without mind, just live without purposes and goals. You will be able to walk without stick. Stick is worrying. But you can never think you can live without worrying. By and by, worrying has become your part. So we can never imagine we can also survive, we can be alive without worrying. When I say you can live without worrying, you say, no, Swamiji, how can it be possible? If I don't worry, what will happen to my children? What will happen to my house? What will happen to my wife? What will happen to my family? What will happen to my property? What will happen to my lawsuits? Please be very clear. Never think because of you, your life is going smoothly. In spite of you, it is going smoothly. Understand? Never your life is going smoothly because of you. In spite of you, it is going smoothly. The moment you have the courage to have Shraddha to these teachings and start living, dropping the purposes, only then you will realize you don't need stick to walk. You don't need stick to walk. Once you enter into the being, the depth of your being, you will enter into a totally different dimension. Whatever now you think as spiritual life or material life, both will lose its meaning. You will enter into a new dimension of life. For example, can you explain for a 4-year-old small child the life of marriage? Can you explain what is life to a 4-year-old child? You can't. He can't understand. But he can understand only toys. He can understand only dolls. He can only play with toys. Once he reaches the age of 25, naturally he will be able to understand what is life. Automatically toys and dolls will drop him. Do you feel that you are missing your toys? Do you feel that you have renounced your toys? No. The moment you grow, you start experiencing the different dimension of your life. When you experience a different dimension of your life, automatically the small things drops you, and you drop them, they drop you. Not even you dropping them is important. They dropping you is important. You dropping smoking is not important. Smoking dropping you is important. When you enter into your being, when you enter into the purposelessness of life, the whole so-called material life and spiritual life drops you, and you enter into a different dimension of life. A new dimension. That is what I call quantum spirituality or eternal consciousness. You reach the eternal bliss. You start living in eternal bliss. Now you may have a serious doubt. How can I walk? How can I live without worrying? I tell you, your doubt is nothing but the same doubt this blind man is asking. How can I walk without stick? You cannot convince that blind man you can walk without stick till he gets the eyes. Only after he gets the eyes, he will be able to understand he doesn't need stick to walk. Same way, only when you reach the being, you will understand you don't need worries to live. You don't need mind, you don't need worrying mood to live. Till you reach the being, you need to have Shraddha. Till you get your eyes, you need to have Shraddha and lie down in the operation table. You need to allow the doctor to work on you. That is the reason Krishna is asking, Shraddha vanto nasuyanto. Next word, beautiful word. Anasuyanto means without envy. This is an important thing. Whatever I said, every one of us are able to understand. It's really great, Swamiji. What you said is right. But suddenly the moment one thought comes, my brother has purchased 2 houses. My sister is getting new big car. How can I live just like this? The moment you get some thought, he is having that, he is having this, what happens? All your spirituality, all your purposelessness, all your spiritual philosophy, everything just disappears. You are again on the same rat race. He says, without envy. Envy is the thing which puts you again in that same rut. In the same rut. One great problem in the rat race is, even if you win, you are a rat. Even if you win, you are a rat. Nothing more than that. Please be very clear. The moment envy, jealous enters into your being, whole thing disappears. You start again running into the social conditioning. You start running behind the purposes. You start running behind the goals. Envy or jealousy is the thing which makes you run like a rat. Run like a rat. There is a beautiful, another one idea in Tantra. Maya Shakti. This Maya makes us all dance just with this one stick called jealousy. Have you seen the monkey charmers in India? The roadside, they will do a small show with monkeys. They will have a small stick. They will just rotate that stick and shout, Adraram, Adraram, Adraram. They will just say, give the instructions to that monkey. According to their instruction, that monkey will do everything. This stick, with this stick, they will make the monkey dance. With a small stick, they will make the monkey to dance and do whatever they want. Same way, the Maya Shakti is making you run as she wants, just with one stick called jealousy, envy, comparison. The moment you compare, you just again jump into the same path, same rut, same routine, which I call the purpose life. Then you became karmi, not karma yogi. Man who lives in the eternal consciousness, Nitya Ananda, and allows his body and mind to work according to its nature, is centered on eternal consciousness. He is called karma yogi. But the man, out of jealousy, out of envy, out of comparison, who jumps, enters into the social conditioning, social rut, the same routine of rat race, is called karmi. The difference between karmi and the karma yogi is only one thing. The man who is driven by jealousy is karmi. The man who allows the eternal consciousness to drive him is called karma yogi. All you need to understand is only this one word: without envy, anasuyanto, without jealousy. The moment you start thinking, oh, he is having all those things, he is having all those things, you become mad. If a neighbor brings AC into his house, your house temperature increases. Your house temperature increases. One more thing, when we do things out of comparison, we do all foolish things. Our intelligence stops working. Our intelligence completely stops working. If you do things out of jealous, out of enviousness, out of comparison, we will end up only doing this type of foolish things. Intelligence will stop working. When you start comparing, intelligence stops working. Please understand, every one of you are unique. There is no need to compare. There is no need to compare with other person. You are unique. The main problem is you compare only with the nearest persons. 5 inch up and 5 inch low. Only with that persons you compare. You don't compare yourself with Bill Gates, do you? If you compare, even God cannot save you, that is different. You don't. You compare only with your neighbor. You compare only with your colleague. You compare only with your brother. You compare only with your sister. The problem is not even failure. Your worry about the failure is the problem. That is why you don't compare with the unreachable goals. You compare only reachable goals. You compare only with immediate persons. Understand, this comparison is what is driving you crazy. Again and again and again brings the whole social conditioning on you and eats away your whole life. Your whole life is eaten away by this one maya called comparison. Your whole joy, ecstasy, bliss, the very bliss or the ecstasy of living is swallowed by this one maya called comparison. How the whole thing is swallowed at the time of pralaya by the ocean. Same way, just this one concept, comparison, one idea, envy and jealousy swallows your whole life, which has no existence. Two things. There is something called comparative reality and something called existential reality. If you build your life based on the existential reality, you will never suffer. If you build your mind on comparative reality, you will be continuously suffering even at the time of death. Not only at the time of death, even after death. Don't build your inner space on comparative reality. Let your inner space be built on existential reality. Let you accept the life as it is. If you build your life on existential reality, you will live your life blissfully in eternal consciousness as karma yogi. Small story. One guy comes to the bar with a big smile, big grin is in his face, and asks the bartender to serve drink for the whole house freely. Give drink for everybody, I'll pay you. Bartender serves and asks, it's so nice, I'm very happy, you did a good thing for everybody. May I know why you did this? He said, I am very happy today. I have grown taller than my younger brother. I have become taller than my younger brother. My younger brother used to be taller than me. So always people tease, you are elder or he is elder. So I had a problem. Today I have grown taller than my younger brother. And younger brother taller than you is really problem. If your elder brother taller than you, it can be at least tolerated. Younger brother taller than you is too much. Today, I have become taller than him. He asked, how? In this age, how suddenly you have grown and become taller than him? No, I have not grown. He met with accident, his both legs have been amputated. When you compare, when we live with jealousy, when our life is based on comparative reality, please be very clear, we end up only in this type of things. Let your inner space be built on existential reality, not on comparative reality. So, next, the Krishna says, beautiful thing. Tasmadasaktas sadatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnodi purushaha. Therefore, one should do his duty without being desirous to the rewards of action, for by working without attachment, one attains the supreme. The whole essence of karma yoga. So understand, because of all these reasons, drop your attachment to the purpose, drop your attachment to the goal, and live the happy life, live the life blissfully. You will achieve the supreme. Tasmad asakta sadadam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnodi purushaha. He says, you will achieve the supreme. You will achieve the eternal consciousness, Nitya, Ananda. So, let us pray to the ultimate divine, Parabrahma Krishna, to make us all understand his great message, to make us all imbibe him in our being. Let him guide us, let him make us experience the eternal consciousness, eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Vasudeva Sudham Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.
Yes, Nityam Alfiya. So, living the life based on the reality, the cosmic reality, not based on the comparative reality. That is the essence. Because the moment we have in either the comparative, we live with the comparison or the jealousy, that's a big delusion that takes away years and years, and not only years, many times births after births. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of today. And again, a reminder especially for the participants apart from the ET time, the time time for the program has shifted 1 hour early. So we'll be starting 1 hour early and finishing 1 hour early. So with this, now we'll be concluding the day for today with the Poon Mantra. And of course, tomorrow we'll be coming back with another exciting sessions and starting with the Nityananda Yoga. So let's join our hands. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagat Shri Nityananda Paramashva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone.